Those who have been through the discovery process of their INFJ personality type explain the clarity and self-understanding as something they've never experienced before. With these awe-striking findings, a sense of community, and overall recognition for their unique ways, INFJs reach certain realizations that put things into perspective. Welcome or welcome back, Psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1. They realize that they're not as perplex as they thought. Complex, yes. Confusing, not entirely. For the INFJ type, before discovering the explanations behind their quirks, even they themselves can't quite grasp the ins and outs of their personality. With so many contradicting traits, a cognitive function that causes them to absorb the feelings of those around them, and an innate craving to go against all social norms, it's fair to say that most INFJs give up trying to understand themselves before they've ever really even tried. Luckily, everything comes together like a jigsaw puzzle once they find the missing piece. This missing piece is the simple MBTI result of their INFJ type and the rabbit hole of information that follows. Slowly but surely, the INFJ begins to discover that their perplexities aren't so perplexing after all. In fact, with the in-depth clarifications of their cognitive functions combined with real-world examples that they can relate to their own lives, they begin to realize that they're actually quite simple creatures. Actually, they begin to understand that it's the world around them that's upside down. Number 2, they realize that their need for depth is validated. Deep conversations, deep understandings, deep diving into their own minds, the INFJ has no interest for the surface level of any area of life. They don't like fake small talk. Instead, INFJs crave to know what gets people up in the morning, what traumas they've yet to heal, and what type of person they are behind the facade. They don't like simple explanations for their deep life questions. Instead, they want to understand things from every perspective with the goal of forming a solid answer to their curiosities. INFJs don't make excuses for their flaws, but rather choose to pick them apart to get to the root cause of their shortcomings in order to come out on top. And sometimes, all of this acuity can come off as too intense for others. Some people prefer to take the route of comfortable ignorance, which teaches the INFJ over time that maybe their need for depth is unnecessary in the end. Of course, once the INFJ realizes just how their mind works, they understand that their deepness is one of their most charming and valuable traits, one that should never be overlooked, never mind dulled for the sake of others' unawareness. Number 3, they realize that their intuition is actually a cognitive function. The unseen guidance system that runs behind the scenes of every INFJ thought, decision, and curiosity. To most personality types, this sense of intuition barely qualifies as a form of reasoning. But for the INFJ, it's something they rely on without second thought. It's sometimes dismissed as mystical or nothing but a primal hunch. Yet even before INFJs realize just how prominent it is in the order of their cognitive functions, it serves as their primary internal driving force. Despite witnessing the power of their intuitive insights from a young age, INFJs live in a world that doesn't always value or encourage reliance on these inner feelings. This often results in the undiscovered INFJ doubting these hunches, constantly second-guessing how trustworthy their inner voice really is and ultimately suppressing their intuitive observations. However, once an INFJ understands the rationale behind this dominant introverted intuitive function, it becomes their superpower. It's only after the discovery of just how this function truly works that the INFJ begins to trust their inner guidance system to lead them to a fulfilling life not solely focused on pleasing others. Number 4, they realize that they're not as alone in the world as they feel. Amongst all the INFJ sources, blogs, YouTube channels, and Instagram accounts, misconceptions and false information is inevitable. Yet, through these platforms of information come INFJ communities filled with people sharing their own INFJ-related struggles, habits, and understandings. Found in the comment sections and threads of the internet, it's in these shared experiences that really make a newly discovered INFJ realize that they're not alone in this world. For most INFJs, it's right around adolescence that they really begin to figure out just how different they are to the people around them. Whether it's within their deep questioning of everything around them, their wavering social interests, or the fact that they require a lot of alone time. It's not so easy to justify where these preferences stem from, often resulting in them hiding away from society or putting on a facade to blend in. The undiscovered INFJ grows up knowing they can never relate to their external world. All of that changes when they begin to unfold the ins and outs of their personality type by finding the people they can relate to. Number 5. They realize that socializing isn't something to be avoided at all costs. Introverts at heart, there's nothing that will ever waver the INFJ into preferring to socialize over spending time in solitude. They require ample amounts of time to themselves to rest and recharge their social batteries. However, without the understanding behind not having the same interest in maintaining a lively social life as their peers, it's easy for the undiscovered INFJ to give up on socializing altogether. And while the discovery of their personality type doesn't always change this throwing in of the towel, it does make them realize how important socializing is for their development. In fact, while the INFJ prefers to remain in their introverted thinking and intuitive functions by spending most of their time ruminating in their thoughts, it's in their extroverted feeling and sensing functions that the INFJ grounds themselves and learns their life lessons. Through this comprehension that comes with diving deeper into understanding their personality type, acceptance of this duality can make socializing seem less daunting. Some INFJs may even prefer to see their social outings as a means of self-improvement rather than an enjoyable hobby, allowing them to let their guard down a little and maybe even make a trusted connection or two. Number 6. They realize one of their ultimate missions here on Earth. Speaking of social connections, one of the most valuable realizations of a newly discovered INFJ lies within their newly understood empathy. INFJs know far before they discover their personality types that they have a certain sensitivity to the feelings of people around them. From an early age, they can tell what others are thinking and feeling, which, without the necessary understanding, can become quite overwhelming in certain settings. They can feel others' sadness, they can understand others' pain, anger overwhelms them, and happiness uplifts their mood. In fact, this is what makes socializing so daunting for this personality type in the first place. However, once they discover the depths and purpose of this empathetic gift, they realize exactly how it's meant to be used. Through trial and error, as well as the practicing of setting certain boundaries, this personality type begins to see that their empathetic reflections of others are there to make better people. Rather than perceiving this ability as a curse, they begin to realize that it's actually a gift that allows others to comfortably open up to the INFJ and be met with compassion, despite their reserved demeanor. And lastly, number 7. They realize that some things should remain in fantasy land. The imaginative dreamer. INFJs are known for their future-focused mindset and their amazing creativity to match. With the unmatched ability to file through hundreds of potential scenarios before making any decisions in life, this personality type can see multiple angles of and perspectives of situations. Yet, while it all sounds fine and dandy, being a dreamer isn't as easy as it seems. For the INFJ, this is especially true when it comes to knowing which dreams should be made into goals and which ones are meant to never see the light of day. In fact, If this intuitive type isn't aware of the importance their intuition plays in the process, they can actually end up following some pretty out of character and unrealistic paths in life. Luckily, when an INFJ begins to understand their own personal fantasy land, they realize this to be true. Over time, it becomes easier to internally organize these dreams as realistic and unrealistic. When they can finally see this distinction, INFJs can let their imaginations run wild without the worry of being irrational or inappropriate. And with this level of an open mind, you never know just what may make its way into fruition. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, have you already experienced each of these eye-opening realizations throughout your discovery of being an INFJ? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.